What's up, everybody? Squirrel Man's back again. I'm still sitting here at home. I don't go out for a while. I just been taking care of me, man. I've been taking care of me. I've been working out like a slave, man. And it feels good. If you're not taking care of yourself, man, you're messing up, man. You need to take care of yourself above all else. You need to get that exercise in, especially if you're a truck driver and you're not working out, dude, and you're eating all that slop in the truck stop, man. You are on a one way ticket to an early grave. I'll tell you what, man. The reason why I was making this video is because this is a huge controversial subject, and that's the 2 week notice. A 2 week notice for a truck driver is a really difficult thing. It really is, because it's not like you wake up in the morning and you go to an office. It's not. You're out there on the road. You're living in a truck. You're hundreds of miles, maybe even a couple thousand miles away from home all the time. I just saw a video of this guy. He was out working. He put in his 2 week notice. He was inside that 2 weeks, and the company decided to shut his truck down because they can do that from the home office. They can shut your truck down, shut the computer down, and the truck won't work. And then they told him that they were going to tow it. And I'm like, that's absolute bullshit. The man's doing the right thing. He's giving you 2 weeks to hire to replace him with another driver, and you stiff him like that. That's why it's so hard for me to think about putting in a 2 weeks notice. Especially with a company like mine that doesn't let you take the truck home. Because if you take the truck home, okay, you have to bring it back, obviously. If you go home from your tour, you take your 5-7 days off, whatever, and you decide, I don't want to work for this company anymore, you still have to take that truck back. Never, ever, ever abandon a truck. That will go on your record. Trust me, you don't want that on your record. No company wants to see that on your record, that this guy threw a little hissy fit like a child and walked away from a truck. You don't want to do that, man. I don't care how much they piss you off, what they do, don't do that. That is like a brand on your forehead. You don't want to do that. But I will tell you, there are some shisty companies out there. They're not all like that. There's some good companies. When I left CRST, I put in my notice when I was on the road, and they were super cool about it. I never heard anything bad from them, and I'm so glad I did that because they were a good company. But you get companies like that did that to that guy that shut his truck down. That's absolute garbage, man. You can't do that to drivers. That's why it's so hard to find a good company to work for now. And looking at it from both sides of the fence, a lot of these, especially the mega carriers, because there's so many mega carriers, they treat drivers like they are so expendable. They don't care about them. They feed them garbage just to get them behind the wheel. They don't pay them shit. They give them the bare minimum essentials that they need to go out there and do the job. They pay them the bare minimum that they have to. And I think that's garbage. That's why you can't keep good drivers. That's why these mega carriers, they can't keep good drivers. A lot of the best drivers, they might start with a mega carrier, but then they end up finding themselves with a much smaller, like mom and pop company. And there's nothing wrong with that, because, if you can find yourself a really cool, really like good paying mom and pop company position, take it. I would take it all day long. I would take mom and pop over a mega carrier any day of the week, because I know there's a lot less drivers, and those mom and pop companies have a lot invested, and they have a lot to lose, and they are much more likely to support you and treat you better than a mega carrier would. It's like working at a mom and pop grocery store versus going to work at Walmart. They don't even know your name. They don't care. You're just an employee. They don't give a shit about you. I don't break my back for anybody that, if I feel like they would replace me in a week, that's what I tell people. I was talking to this girl the other night, and she's like, I'm working so hard, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, I've been working so hard. I'm like, why? You are breaking your ass for a company that if you died tomorrow, they could replace you in a week and no one would even remember you. You know, I'm like, that's stupid. If you want to put in your notice for a company, that's fine. You know, I have a hard time doing it unless I really like the company. I have to feel really good about the company to put in a notice, because it has to be something where I like, am I ever really going to come back here? You know, I got burned one time when I didn't put in a notice, when I up and quit, and I was at the prison. I just up and quit. And then a few months later, I got this security job, and I had to get a clearance badge at the hospital. And I am almost 100% sure that somebody at that hospital knew somebody at that prison, and they burned me. You know, they worked together to burn me. So I had to quit to lose that job because I wasn't able to get that badge because I didn't put in the 2 weeks notice at the prison, which I thought was absolute bullshit. But that's really childish on their part. But I'm sure karma came back to them. I'm sure it did, you know, because I would never discard a good employee over some bullshit like that, you know. I could care less if you put in your 2 weeks notice at your last job. As long as you show up and do your job here and you're reliable, I don't care, you know. 2 weeks notice doesn't do anything for you, the employee. It's all for them. So, I mean, and I think more and more of us are waking up every day realizing that if you're going to fire me, are you going to give me a 2 weeks notice? No. You're going to fire me on a Friday so I don't have an incident, you know, so I don't, you know, do something crazy. And you're going to be like, whatever, man, that's your problem. So it's like, it's so hard for us citizens now to really give a damn about stuff like that. Especially the generation coming up, they're just like, I don't understand the honor in that, the common sense in that, you know. It's supposed to be 50-50. But like I said, if it's a good company and you really care about it, and if you could see yourself coming back to that company one day, always put in your 2 weeks notice. And don't take me the wrong way, I would never tell anybody not to put in their notice. I wouldn't. I've put in my notice at many companies. But if I feel like I'm being treated like shit, I'm not going to do it. Because I'm just going to be like, man, I got to get away from these people. They're toxic. I'm not making any money. You know, they're driving me crazy. I'm putting positive energy into a negative source. You know, I could be out there grinding, looking for a different job right now, but I'm waking up and putting all my energy into these morons. And I'm just not about that. I don't do that. Life's too short for that. Yeah, like I said, if you put in your 2 weeks notice as a truck driver, I cannot guarantee anything after that, because you don't know. I know. Here's another story I saw on YouTube. This girl put in her notice, and then they screwed her on damages on a trailer. That was bullshit. Do you have any idea? If you're not driving yet, do you have any idea how many trailers you go out there and they're damaged? You see that they're damaged. They're damaged all the time. Like 90% of them have damage. You know, that's why at bar none, they make you do a vehicle inspection report every day, every 24 hours, especially when you get a new trailer, because you get new trailers every day, all the time. You hook up to it, you got to punch in your truck number and the trailer number, and you have to verify that there's nothing wrong with the trailer or the truck. It's every day you have to do that. That's the only company I've ever worked for that does that. So, I mean, that's a good thing, because if you're disciplined and you get out and doing a little inspection and walk around the trailer and you see something wrong with it, you can put it in the report. So you're covering your ass. So it's actually a really good idea. But a lot of companies don't do that. You know, like I said, that's the first one I ever worked for that actually does that. So, yeah, always cover your ass. If you see absolute damage on a trailer, take pictures of it and tell somebody before you drive away with it, because there's a good chance, or you don't want to run the risk of getting blamed for it, you know? But like I said, most of the trailers you come across that you hook up to are going to be damaged in some way, shape, or form. They all got those little scratches and junk going down the side of them. They all do. You know, it's very rare that you come across a brand new trailer that just like has no damage on it at all. It's so rare. It almost never happens. But yeah, if you're gonna put in your 2 weeks notice, you better do a lot of thinking about it. You got to think about how you're gonna get rid of that truck and what you're gonna have to go through. And when you do get out of the truck, make sure it's decently clean. Make sure there's no damage inside there. Make sure you get all your stuff out of there. You don't want to get blamed for anything. Make sure there's no reason why you will have to drive back to the terminal for any reason. Make sure you leave your keys in the little cubby above the driver. You want to make sure there's no damage or anything like that. And you want to make sure you got all your pay is up to date too. You want to make sure you're getting paid for everything. That's the reason why a lot of people don't put in their 2 weeks notice, because they don't want to run the risk, just like that lady I told you about. They don't want to run the risk of, oh, you took half my last check because you knew I was leaving. That's bullshit. So if you're not going to put in your 2 weeks notice, I would wait till you get that last check and then call them and say, hey, I'm not coming back. That's what I would do if I was you. But I can't tell you what to do. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Common sense ain't common.